What is up, guys? This is Heiko, bringing you a video on my Druid build. As you can see, I'm right now recording, but I'm also doing the level 100 Nightmare dungeon, so yeah, I won't be as efficient as I usually am, but I'm just gonna show you how strong this build is. And you can see basically we're just doing like tier 100 Nightmare dungeons without any like issues. And I'm kind of sick of people making like those videos of like the best new Druid build, and they're showing you like a video of like a level 30 Nightmare dungeon. So yeah, I'm just gonna be fair with you guys and show you the build that I found out. I did modify a little bit on my like original Tornado Druid build, because like on the new season we had like the Magnificent Hearts added to the game, and those made really big changes to the build. So as you guys all know, there's like holy shit, there's like a new gear, a new heart in the game, which is like the barber, so the heart of the barber. So what it does is it absorbs like your critical strike like hits. So basically your crits are going to be absorbed, and after like a few seconds, at 2 to 4 seconds, it will explode. And the damage of it is so insane that like pretty much in this season we don't lack damage at all. So the only thing that we need to focus on, like as a Druid, is like survivability. To be able to do that, I've changed my build. I've changed a lot. I've changed my spells as well, and of course my Paragon build from like the original Tornado Wolf. So basically, we're also not going to use like the Earth and Might passive, but what was like standard for the Tornado Wolf build. The reason of it is because the Barber actually also absorbs like your lucky hit chances. So the problem about it is that you cannot proc like Earth and Might. And when you cannot proc Earth and Might, I went to check like what other like passives were like the best alternatives, and by far like the Nature's Fury is the best one. So I think most of you guys have seen like the new build where they showed off like landslides. So what they had is like they had landslides, and they used the Nature's Fury passive, where whenever you cast like a landslide or like another spell, it will basically like proc another spell that is in the same category as the spell you're casting. So for us, like we're casting Tornado, and when we're casting Tornado, we can proc like the same, like an Earth spell from the same category. So for us, that's like Landslide. So basically for this build, we're also leveling up Landslide. So as we're spamming Tornado, we'll be getting like Landslide procs over and over. That's basically like the ideal, the mindset of this build. And I haven't seen like any streamers or like content creators making this build yet, so I don't know if I'm like one of the earlier ones. But anyways, I haven't been playing Diablo 4 a lot recently, but I've been clearing like tier 100 dungeons for like a week already, and I got kind of bored of it, so just trying out like some new builds, new classes. But I also wanted to just to share this build so you guys can try it out and see if you like it. But by far this one should be the strongest Druid build in game right now. And of course there's also like the Bulwark build, but like the thing about the Bulwark build is it's so slow. I cannot enjoy the playstyle of it. And the second thing about it is like it requires pretty high like how do you say gear, like pretty difficult to get all the required gear from it, because you need like like the damage reduction versus against injured, like on 3 of the pieces of your gear, and they actually need to scale. They actually need to be really high. So it's like it's not viable if you don't have really maxed out gear on it. I think you need like around 80, almost 80. I think you almost need 80% of like damage against injured to actually make it viable. So yeah, it's not like something that you can just do like whenever you want. So yeah, and Tornado is just like it's very high, it's very fast paced, so I enjoyed it the most anyways. So I just tried out a lot of things, and yeah, and just figured out like a build that can just, as you can see, that you can just farm like those Tier 1 and Nightmare dungeons pretty easily. It seems to be working this one. As you can see, it's like, it's pretty simple, right? It's pretty easy. It's nothing special we're doing right now. It's not much effort. And as you can see, we have already finished like this dungeon. How long was that? It was like 5 minutes or something. And I'm also just like doing this while I'm recording right now. So even if I'm doing it on myself without recording, I'll be much faster. So yeah, I will show you, I will guide you through the build, and let me TP back first, and then I will guide you to the full build. So basically for the gear I did some adjustments. As you can see right here, the head is the same, it's Tempest Roar, it's nothing different. For the chest, what you want to do is you want just like as much DR as possible, and you want max life. I don't have max life on my chest, but if I want to be, if I want to have like a perfect chest, I will want to swap out like the 8.1% damage reduction for like max life. And then for the gloves, you want Landslide and Tornado. My Tornado is not maxed, so I haven't found a better gloves. Still working on that. And then you want crit chance and attack speed. And for the aspect, you want Tornado. For the pants, same story as the chest. And then you want 15% DR when you shapeshift into werewolf. So for the shoes, for the boots, it's like unstoppable. When you're unstoppable, you get like movement speed. And here you really want fortified generation. It's really important for your defensive stats. And movement speed, damage reduction while injured, and then you preferably want like the armor while werewolf form. For the axe, yeah, it's pretty standard. You want vulnerable damage, crit damage, willpower, critical strike damage with the werewolf skill, so you can be flexible on this one. For the aspect, critical strike with core skills increase your attack speed. For the amulet, you want Envenom, CDR, and then 2 times DR. That's the best one. And then for the aspects, the Grizzly Rage one. So yeah, for the heart, you really want Barber. I feel this is a must. For most of the Druid builds now, it's just too good to skip it. And so the time on the Barber, it's actually, I tested it out, so you see like 4 seconds to 2 seconds. Most people will think, yeah, if you have 2 seconds, it's the best one. But actually, it's not true. Because whenever you hit like a mob and you hit like the threshold of their HP, they will just explode. So that means, yeah, the longer you have, the better it is. Because whenever you have like, let's say you have 4 seconds and you hit a mob, you kill a mob like his HP threshold in like 1 second, it will just explode. It's not like it's still gonna wait until 4 seconds to explode. So I'll say for the longer the better, especially on bosses. So for the rings, what you want is you want fortified generation, because we just need to stay alive. Our damage is more than enough. You just saw on the last one, the T100 Nightmare dungeon, we have more than enough damage. And then you want critical strike chance of vulnerable damage. And one of the rings you want the Grizzly Rage duration. For this ring you want the same stats, but I don't have the perfect one yet. I'm still working on that. And then you want for the aspect casting a storm skill, increase your earth skills. by 45% critical strike damage, and then casting an Earth skill increases the critical strike chance of storm skills by 12%. And that's because we're basically always using Tornado, and Tornado procs Landslide. And then for the totem, you want critical strike chance, DR, actually two times DR and then CDR. So I'm missing one DR on it. And then for the aspect, you want Landslides, DPS 12%. Spirit Booms, nothing really special. DR against elites, attack speed. You can also go to critical strike chance, and then extend the ultimate skills duration, and then like this one that heals you, and then you want Call Before the Storm to reduce the ultimate cooldown. So yeah, for the skill tree, we start with Storm Strike, Enhanced Storm Strike. We're not going to enhance one more. It's not necessary because our Tornado can apply Vulnerable. So max out Tornado, and if my gloves were maxed out, I would have level 9 instead of 8. And you can put one level on Landslide, Enhance, and then Raging to immobilize. And as you can see, if you max out on the gloves, you'll have level 5 on it. Cyclone Armor, 30% DR, pretty standard. And then Bloodhowl, you want it to increase attack speed. Then Hurricane, of course, 20% DR again. And then you want to max out Safeguard, critical strike, Earth skills fortify you, so that's from Landslide. And then for Neurotoxin, Toxic Claws, and then Venom. Yeah, here you want Defiance level 1, and then max out Natural Disaster and Circle of Life. This is defensive, and this is like offensive for like Earth and Storm skills, 12% DPS, which is really nice. And then you want max out Defensive Posture, Nature's Resolve, and then Unrestrained. We'll max out that as well. Priestly Rage, of course, our main ultimate skill. And then you have Nature's Fury, which is our main passive. As I explained, Earth and Mind is not viable with Barber, because Barber also absorbs lucky hit chances. So you will never be able to proc this. The other alternative is Perfect Storm. This is also possible, so basically it will make sure you have like 0 spirit issues, but it's less tanky. I actually started with Perfect Storm, and you can farm pretty fast, but the thing about when you farm like tier 100s, you die pretty easily. So I would say Nature's Fury is the best that you ever can have right now, for this build of course. For the Paragon board, I took the base of Zard. Zard is I think is the Chinese player who was the first to clear tier 100 in pre-season and internal servers. But I did a lot of modification on this board. I also swapped some boards around, and also some glyphs. So what I have here is I have Spirit, so that increases your critical strike damage. You can also use Territorial Exploit, but I feel after the nerf of vulnerable damage, Exploit is not worth it. Territorial is nice, you gain like you gain like DPS to close target, but that's not a multiplier. But you mainly want it for like the 10% DR against close enemies. But since I'm pretty stacked on DR on close, I don't feel it's worth to take it. Then you go to your next board, which is the Inner Beast board, and then you apply your first glyph, which is second glyph, sorry, Earth and Sky, and that's because all those defensive armor runes here, and you also have like shapeshift and skill damage. And to the right you want to get Ancestral Guidance, to the left you want Heightened Malice. And when we go up to the top, we are going to the Lustful Carnage, and we will apply here Undaunted, like damage when you're fortified, and we're always fortified, so that's a nice one. And this board is the last one you want to go, but this is really important because it gives you so much DR against fortify. And so this burnout bulwark, it's something you could work on like in the really end game, is to reach the willpower. And I think when you finish like your whole Paragon board and you have some pretty good gear like on your weapon, so yeah, I'm missing a lot on here because I have all stats instead of willpower. And because in the turtle season I reached the 995 willpower, it will give you another 4% DR, which is really nice. So when you go to the left, we are here at the Thunderstroke board, and we use Werewolf. And yeah, then we go to the last board where we use Venom Claw, and as you can see, there's a lot of damage to poison, and you get a lot of DR from poison. So this is pretty much the Paragon board. So yeah, that's pretty much my build. I'm also gonna link the full build from the D4 planning in the video description below. And if you have any questions or like suggestions to me, just let me know. And until next time.